Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Night Sky This Week. I'm your host, Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy. So great of you to join me. I love to see where you're watching from. I already see Gina from Connecticut, Cynthia from Michigan. Great to see you. Just put your comment in there where you're watching from. I'd love to see that. Wow. Well, another month that we've started, October. So we're really heading into autumn skies for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's springtime. And days are getting longer, days are getting warmer. So it's really interesting, the actual dichotomy between the two hemispheres of what the physical environment is like for sky watchers in both hemispheres. I know for me here in Montreal, Canada, we have a very long, hard winter. The nights are long. The sun sets for me, just after 4 o'clock in December, January. The nights are very long, which is really good for sky watching, that you don't have to stay up very late. Because in the summertime, like June, July, August, I'd have to go out after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night to really begin doing some serious sky watching, especially with a telescope or binoculars. If I want to look at constellations and deep sky objects, you really have to wait until it gets super dark to do some really good work and find things, especially like galaxies and nebula, planetary nebula, things like that you really need dark skies for. So it's an interesting time now that we've just passed the equinox, the autumn equinox in the Northern Hemisphere and the spring equinox. Now it's a really good time generally, this transition, for seeing things like galaxies outside, basically objects that are outside of our own galaxy, our Milky Way. There are constellations out there that really give us a small little window in the sky that peeks through our galaxy. Actually, there's not much of our galaxy that really obscures the view of the entire universe. So that's why it makes it a great time to view. Also, I don't know about you. Guys can chime in if you are in the Southern Hemisphere, what this time period is like for you to be out stargazing. I know for me, the skies are very clear, not much haze going on in the month of September and October. It's cool, no bugs, mosquitoes and black flies, things like that can be a nuisance when you're out observing, especially you're standing still with binoculars or telescopes. You can get a lot of bugs. That can be quite irritating. And this time of the year, it's fantastic because there's no bugs. The early evenings, it's just a great combination. Before I dive into the sky exactly this week, I want to make sure that's on your calendar. Those of you that are in the Americas, North America, Central America, South America, remember there is an annular solar eclipse coming on October 14th. So it's just less than 2 weeks. It's a Saturday, October 14th. During the day, you'll actually see the sun being eclipsed by the moon. And for most of us, we'll see a partial eclipse, a bite taken out of the disk of the sun, but some lucky people that are going to be along a small strip of land across North and Central and South America will see the sun being kind of right in back of the moon. The moon's going to be creating a little bit smaller the moon's disk to cover the entire sun. Won't exactly cover the entire sun. It'll create what is called a ring of fire or annular eclipse. It looks like a ring of the sun. It's really fantastic. October 14th. Let me show you my friends at timeanddate.com. Great website. Highly recommend timeanddate.com. They have this map showing you where the ring of fire, the annular eclipse, where the sun looks like a ring, that's along this dark red line. You see that? And if I move the map, you can see it goes through South America, Central America, and South America. So it starts off here and then moves across this way, the sun's path. And so it takes us through Oregon to Texas and through all different countries like Colombia and Brazil in South America. People will get to see along that red strip, you'll get to see the entire sun being in the back of the moon, but you'll still see a ring of the sun. So remember that it's not going to get dark. It's not a total eclipse, but it's called an annular eclipse. It's still very fantastic. You need to have eclipse glasses to see it very safely, and it's really a great experience. If you've never seen one, it's fantastic. You can see here the strip of land where it is. So that's what this is showcasing for us. This effect. It's really, really neat. So if you're interested, I've got my friends at Astronomers Without Borders, which I am part of. I help Astronomers Without Borders out often. If you've been with me, you know that. And very interesting is that we have an Eclipse app. Now, let me see if I can actually bring that up. Let me see. There we go. And I'm going to put a link to this in the comments. That this is an app that was developed in conjunction with the folks who bring Sky Safari, and that's the planetarium app that I like to use often. And I'm going to just put the link in here so you can get it and read about this app. So this app is developed in conjunction with the folks who make Sky Safari planetarium software, so you know it's really good quality. You see the app, I use it all the time, and they've developed with AWB this beautiful app on how to watch the eclipse properly. Wherever you go, you know where to put yourself for the eclipse, and it basically predicts it down to the second where and when to watch it. It's got a great interactive eclipse map. It has a countdown timer, and what's best of all is that it actually it does support AWB, Astronomers Without Borders, and the STEM education programs that they do. 50% of the proceeds of a sale of this Eclipse app will go to support directly these programs, these eclipse programs, things like bringing recycled eclipse glasses to folks around the world. It's a very unique program. AWB has been doing this since 2017, the Great American Eclipse back then, and they're hoping to do this again. And so 50% of the proceeds of the app is only $1.99. That's it. And the proceeds go directly to AWB. I put a link to this app. You can check it out. It's just a fantastic, great feel-good thing. You get a fantastic companion, a digital companion on your smartphone that'll help you predict and how to watch the eclipse, and you also do some good in the world. What better thing than that? And there is no other app like this, I can tell you that. So check it out. The link's there. It's a lot of fun, that's for sure. And it does good. I love that. So with that, let's dive into the planetarium program and see what's up in the sky this week. So this week we've got planets still really amazing that they are in the view for telescope watchers, binocular watchers, those of us just using the unaided eye. We've got in the southeast Saturn, really brilliantly yellow bright star in the constellation Aquarius. Very bright in the southeast. This is again in the early evening, around 8 o'clock at night. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, this is the positions of what it looks like. If I go a little bit earlier, you'll see that the sky used to have all these planets here, right? But they are now lost in the glare of the sun. We don't see them anymore where we used to. It's kind of bland in the southwest. But a lot of the action is now happening in the southeast eastern part of the sky. So if this is set for October 2nd, Monday. And if I go to the later night, check this out. This is what's going to greet you late night, around 9, 10 o'clock, or even later. If you wait, it'll get higher in the sky, the moon. The waning gibbous moon. We had a full moon just a few days ago, last week, Thursday, Friday, if you remember, a super harvest supermoon. Did you get to see it? If you did, it's fantastic. I saw amazing pictures being taken of the supermoon. Thank you for sharing with that on my Facebook channel, and it was fantastic. And we've still got the moon to talk about, and this time, If you saw the moon yesterday on Sunday night, did you get to see Saturday and Sunday night the moon positioned near Jupiter, the planet Jupiter? It really was an amazing sight. Let me see if I can bring that up, show you what it looked like for me. This is my family album. Let me just see if I can show you where it is. This is what it looked like for me yesterday. So check that out. Do you see that? There's the moon and there's Jupiter. This is what it looked like Sunday night for me as I was walking the dogs. It was like after 11 p.m. It was really just a fantastic view. And then tonight, so the moon has now moved off away from Jupiter. It was over here just in Aries, the Ram, Sunday night. I can show you what it looked like on Sunday. If you want to see there, that's what it was like, just like in the photo that I just showed you, right? And now the moon, let me just zoom in a bit here so you get to see it a little better. Now the moon on Monday, this is Sunday, this is Monday. So look at this. What's really neat is the moon is positioned next to a brilliant cluster. And this is one of my favorite clusters. If you've ever tuned into my shows every week, I talk a lot about it because the moon kind of pairs up with it on a semi-regular basis. It's a great guidepost, the moon is, to finding deep sky objects like beautiful star clusters. So tonight, even if the moon is so brilliant as it is right now, the glare is really big, take those binoculars out or a small telescope, and you'll be able to cut through that glare of the moon and see the Pleiades star cluster. Now you will know where it is. If you've never seen it before, the moon will just guide you to it so easily. This is again tonight, Monday, October the 2nd. The moon is right next to the Pleiades star cluster. And remember, the star cluster is normally, without the moon, is very clearly visible to the naked eye, even from the suburbs of a large city. And I live in I used to live in just outside of downtown in a suburb, about 20-minute drive from downtown Montreal, and I could see the Pleiades just with the eyes on a clear night without the moon. But because the moon is there, bring out those binoculars and you'll see it very close up. And it's amazing to think the Pleiades, it's just a gorgeous star cluster, and it's 430 light years away. Look at that. Look how beautiful this is. This is a photograph taken through a backyard telescope. Really shows it up close. You can see, some people even call it like a miniature version of the Big Dipper, right? You can see why, because of the sort of like the bowl part and the handle over here. And these are stars, these super bright stars are visible to the naked eye. It's incredible. And they are associated with each other. We think they're about 100 million years old, this cluster, and the stars themselves are moving away. And you see the all that gas and dust kind of looks kind of hazy around each of those stars. Well, we used to think that that dust is associated with the stars themselves, but now we think that gas and dust is actually in between the cluster and the Earth. So we're looking through that gas and dust, and it's creating that kind of washed out look that we see in the image like this. But it's really amazing to think, the Pleiades star cluster, 430 light years away, next to the moon, which is only just over 1 light seconds away, right? It takes that long. So when I say 1 light second, it means that the light takes just over a second to reach your eye. 430 years from Pleiades to reach your eye. It's time travel. That's what we're talking about. This is real time travel by looking up at the sky. Now, what's also interesting, here's another added challenge for you guys out there looking at the sky, is check out this. I mean, the moon and Jupiter, you can see far apart from each other, but if you kind of draw a line between the two objects, and halfway between Jupiter and the moon, sandwiched in between, is another distant planet, an ice giant called Uranus. It is the 7th planet from the sun. It is the same size as Neptune. It's called an ice giant because it's just so frigid in the outer solar system. It's the second to last major planet, and you can see it as a definite green dot through binoculars. Now, because of the glare of the moon, you're not going to see it with the naked eye. It's just, if you were living in the dark countryside, you'd be able to see Uranus very, very easily through through, even the smallest binoculars and just barely with your naked eye on a dark night. But because the moon is there, you're definitely not going to see it with the naked eye. Don't even try. Take those binoculars and kind of sweep this area between the moon and Jupiter. Halfway mark is where you'll see a green. Look for a green dot. A greenish color dot, the only greenish dot that you'll see through binoculars or your telescope, and that is going to be planet Uranus. Now, what's interesting about Uranus is if we look at how far away, look at this. It is currently 2.8 billion kilometers away. It takes light 157 minutes to reach your eye. Isn't that incredible? 157 light minutes away is Uranus. So when you're looking at that little tiny little light. Imagine, it takes over over almost 3 hours of the light to reach your eye. Isn't that incredible? From Uranus, that little dot, it's a gigantic gaseous planet, Uranus is. So that is really cool. This is what will greet you tonight, Monday, October 2nd. Great viewing. Just really a lot of fun. And remember, the later that you go out, this is set for around 9 o'clock. I have it here. But if you go out like 10 o'clock, you see that? 11 o'clock at night. There's 11, and you can see that it's much higher, right? The group of these celestial targets are higher up, and they'll travel through the southern sky in the overnight period. And going and following this group is, of course, all this action is happening in the Taurus, the bull constellation. And by the time it's 11 o'clock, midnight, Taurus the bull will be much better featured in our evening eastern sky. And of course, look for that beautiful orange eye of the bull, Aldebaran. Aldebaran marks the orange eye, the red eye of the bull, really. It's a star 66.6 light years away from us. It's a red giant star. And then way over here, marking kind of a beautiful triangle, actually. Look at that. It's a celestial triangle between Capella, Aldebaran, and Jupiter. See that? I'll put a sky chart for this, so don't worry about it. If you're not marking this down, I'll put a sky chart, so don't worry. But this is really nice, and I'm just noticing this myself. What a great kind of learning activity here, a great observing thing. Something, even if you're in this city, you can do this. You can see Jupiter, Capella, Aldebaran. As long as you don't have any buildings in the way, this is something you'll be able to see. A clear view towards the eastern sky, late night. We're talking around 11, 12 o'clock at night. Check it out. I know I'm going to try to go out and see this too, but it's just a beautiful sight. This giant magical triangle made out of these yellow-orange bright stars. Remember, they're kind of yellow-orange. And Capella over here is 42 light years away. This bright star marking Auriga. Okay, there it is. And then Jupiter. And remember, Jupiter is about 615 million kilometers away. It takes 34 minutes for the light from Jupiter to reach us. So you've got light taking 66 years from Aldebaran. You have 34 years for Capella. Or was it for 34? Hold on, let me see. I don't think so. Yeah, it was 42 years. So 66 years for Aldebaran, 42 years for Capella, and only 34 minutes from Jupiter. We're traveling back in time. All these different points of light are at different distances from the Earth, even despite that they're shining very similarly in brightness. It's really incredible. And it tells you a lot about the size of these objects, their inherent brightness, their power in terms of the star, how powerful they are. It's really incredible to get all this information from just a beam of light. And you can do that with just the naked eye. So that's really something you can see anytime this week, right? With Jupiter, Capella, and Aldebaran. But the moon will continue its travel. So this is, like I said, October 2nd, Monday. By Tuesday, the moon is going to be sandwiched between Aldebaran and Capella. See that? And it'll be kind of in one of the horns of Taurus, the bull constellation. This is Tuesday night. By Wednesday night, the moon will be in between kind of the two horns of Taurus, the bull. And you can see it's heading to be the third quarter moon. Less and less of the disk of the moon is being illuminated by the sun. It's going through its phases, right? And then by Thursday, the moon, let's just go a little bit later. This is set at 11, but let's go closer, let's just to midnight. you can see that the moon is in Gemini. So in the after midnight into the early morning hours, if I kind of go later in the morning like this on Friday early morning, you see that the moon is very close to the Gemini twin bright stars Capella and Pollux. There you can see, I should say Castor and Pollux, pardon me. Castor and Pollux are the two twin stars rising in the east after midnight. But if we kind of keep going and watching the moon, really, I would say a lot of people don't want to, during the week, stay up that late to do observing. But you can do it if you keep watching it. Look at this. The moon will be by 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. The moon will be very high in the south. This is, again, Friday morning. So if you're an early bird riser, an early riser, you walk the dog or you're going to work very early, look for the moon, the quarter moon in Gemini Friday morning. And look, brilliant Venus is going to be high in the sky in the east. Look at that. So this is something to watch for too. If you've noticed a brilliant star in the east when you're getting up before sunrise at dawn, that is our neighboring world, Venus, same size planet as the Earth. It's located 84 million kilometers away, and it's 4.6 light minutes. Means it takes light from Venus 4.6 minutes only to reach us, right? That's close compared to these other ones. Remember that Jupiter's bright, and that's over 600 million kilometers away. So at 84 million kilometers, Venus is much, much closer, and it's brighter. And it's inherently bright because it's filled with clouds. If we go up close to Venus, check this out. Just give you a very close-up view of what Venus looks like. Here we go. Close up. It's inherently bright because it's just covered the entire globe with highly reflective clouds. By the way, these clouds rain down sulfuric acid. It's a nasty place. It has a runaway greenhouse effect. Surface temperatures reach over 400 degrees Celsius. It's not a nice place to be, that's for sure. Very interesting, though. Look at that. Venus is going to be next to Regulus. That will be nice. So if you have a pair of binoculars, check that out. Even without binoculars, can you see this with the naked eye? Yes, you can. Regulus is the heart of the lion. Leo the lion kind of marks the punctuation mark of a backwards question mark. So check that out. That's Friday, October 6th. We're still on Friday here talking about this beautiful view. And then getting back to the moon, if we switch to the days, look, by Saturday morning, okay, Saturday morning, if you get up early, you'll see this view. Isn't that gorgeous? High in the sky, in the south, you'll see the moon. Look at that, a crescent moon with Castor and Pollux, the twins. Just beautiful. That, again, is high in I could say in the southern sky, southeastern sky. So just a really gorgeous, just a gorgeous pairing. By Sunday, the moon is off away from the pair of stars that mark Gemini. So there you are, folks. Lots of interesting things to do in the sky this week, to watch. A lot of these things are visible to the naked eye. I mean, you don't need any special equipment. You don't need telescopes. Maybe some binoculars. You want to kind of zoom in. If you have telescopes, you'll see, the atmospheric belts of Jupiter and the moons of Jupiter. But to actually spot them, you just need clear skies. That's basically it, in an unobstructed view, where there's no buildings or trees in the way. That's it. So if you like this video, guys, and you find value in this, I'd sure appreciate you subscribing to my page or channel, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, any wherever you're watching. If you'd subscribe, share this video, like it would sure mean a lot to me. It allows me to bring these videos every week for free into your homes, so you get some tips and tricks on what to watch. Mark on your calendar what things to watch, and I'm also putting out sky charts for you as well during the week, and space news that comes across my desk. So always something happening, and I love that you're with me. You're my stargazing friends around the world. So thanks for tuning in. Again, if you're interested in more learning about stargazing and you want to delve in a little bit more, make sure you check out my book, Backyard Guide to the Night Sky, bestseller on Amazon, and it's out by National Geographic, and it's bestseller because of you. And I'm also selling signed, dedicated copies on my website, thenightskyguide.com. Also selling my newest book, Stargazer's Atlas. This is a giant coffee table book, 6.5 pounds, and it contains all the constellations, an atlas of the entire night sky, mythology, deep sky objects, you name it, it's in there, and a whole bunch of other science and astrotourism, astroarchaeology. Lots of really neat stuff is in there, thanks to our great team at National Geographic. Thank you so much. If you are interested in it, I'm also selling signed dedicated copies, shipping international. Skyguide.com, and you will be able to get those very quickly. So that's it for this week. I hope you stay safe and healthy. And until the next video, I wish you all clear skies. Bye-bye.